Chairman sir, the honourable member has asked a very serious and very comprehensive question regarding the incident that has happened in Ahmedabad. Sir, I would like to start by answering that the investigation process, which is according to the international protocol, the norms which were set by International Civil Aviation Organization, where the state of operation should have their investigation body, and we have our own investigation body, which is the Aircraft Accident Investigation Bureau, which got into the investigation process right after the incident with the subject experts into the site, and they have started their process according to the international protocol, and they have involved subject matter experts, all the international necessary people who are supposed to be participating in the investigation, and they have gone through the first set of investigation process, and they have given us the preliminary report. And if you look at the preliminary reports, sir, AIB, as for the first time, so whenever these incidents happen, and if the black box gets damaged, black box is the flight data recorder, which has all the necessary information which gets recorded. And whenever there is a slight damage that happens, it was always, it came to that point, sir, where we were sending the black box outside to the original equipment manufacturer to come out with the suggestions, or that as a country, India took a stand that the black box which was achieved, even if it was further future action on, it can be the Boeing 787 or the series or the fuel switches and many things which have come under question, or the avionics which you have also mentioned in your question. To have a definitive answer and a definitive future correction measures, we have to look at the final report, sir. And I can say this to the House and through you to the people of this country also, that the AIB has a very definitive, thorough, rule-based process. They are very transparently looking into the process right now, and they are totally unbiased. This also I can say that the AIB is totally unbiased and looking into the facts. Now, there can be many questions also. I have seen multiple articles myself. I have seen multiple articles not only by the Indian media, but also the Western media trying to promote their own narrative, their own viewpoint, their own kind of consideration. But I have to tell you that the way we are seeing the investigation is through the facts. We want to stand by the truth, not what is happening with the pilots, or not what is happening with the Boeing, or not what is happening with the Air India or any other stakeholder which is this. We want to stand by the truth. We want to find out what exactly happened, and that is only going to be coming out once the final report has been placed. So we have to respect the process of investigation, and once that process of investigation has happened, then we can talk about what happened and how it happened, and then the corrective measures. If we talk about the other incidents that would have happened before, let it be the Air Nippon, Japanese Airways, or any other airways for that fact, every time any incident happens in any country, then the same process is followed, where the investigation body gets into the process of investigation, and once the thorough investigation is done and the final report is placed, only then the corrective measures to all these countries and all these airline operators and all the regulators is sent, so that the corrective action is being done. And this has happened in the previous incidences also. Wherever there was any incident happened, whenever there was a mandatory suggestive correction measures that were supposed to be done through the international protocol, it is mandatory for every state regulator to follow these and every airline operator to follow these. And we have thoroughly, without any negligence, we have thoroughly followed all the corrective and suggestive measures from the ICAO international protocol. We all know the kind of progress civil aviation took in the last 10 years, and I have also been time and again talking about the tremendous numbers depicting the growth that we have seen in the country, right, in the number of aircrafts or the passengers that travel through who prefer air travel, or the number of airports. Everything has almost doubled in the last 10 years, or more than doubled in the last 10 years, sir. Even after we see that the COVID, which was a major road break for civil aviation, we have crossed the pre-COVID numbers, and we are seeing a tremendous growth in civil aviation network. And this is why we from the ministry also recommended that we need to create more posts in this DGCA, so that the surveillance or the safety or the security of civil aviation is very much intact with the tremendous robust growth that we are seeing. And this post that we are seeing, which are vacant, which has come to discussion, is the posts which have been created in last year and over the period of last 2 to 3 years. And we have to understand that creation of posts and recruitment of posts is a continuous process. And there is UPSC which is also involved. And we from the ministry are in continuous discussion. And last year itself, we have recruited 103 posts, which in the history of DGCA was the highest number of posts which was recruited. And this year we have planned to recruit 190. where UPSC also has come forward, and by October, end of October, we are going to recruit 190 posts for this DGCA. And the other thing, which is more practical, that I want to tell the House, is that these are very niche and technical posts. It's not like we have a huge pool. This is a limited pool of subject matter experts, let it be the engineers or the pilots or medical experts, aviation related experts. This is a very specific pool of people that we are trying to pick up from. And it is a very tough process of picking up the right people, because these are going to be the regulators, these are going to be the inspectors, these are going to take care of the safety. So the recruitment process is also a very rigorous process, and we are doing our, we have taken notice of this thing also, and it has been continuing process, and we are putting more pressure so that the timelines for the recruitment also come down, and very soon we are in the process of achieving 90% of these vacancies also to be recruited. To the incident itself, one aircraft investigation bureau, they are running the investigative process into finding out how and why the incident happened. And on the other side, overlooking in a holistic approach on the safety measures and what can be done further. Because not only within the country, we are also trying to study other countries across the world where there might be better safety measures in their own countries. So we have also formed a high-level committee under the chairmanship of Home Secretary, and all important people from the aviation are also participating in it, and they are calling people from multiple sectors who are necessary to give more suggestions regarding this. And it is an ongoing process, sir. It was formed right after the incident, and it has got a timeline of 3 months so that they can have multiple meetings within this. And the question which has been put up by the honorable member is also discussed within that committee, and we are all hoping that they come up with some good measures. We already have very robust safety mechanism in the country. We all have to be aware of this process, that it is not that something extravagant or something outside the box is required for the country. We have a very good safety mechanism. Today, if you look at the numbers, today domestically there are 2,909 departures that are happening in the country. 2,909. And internationally, if you look, 624. So overall, the number of departures that are happening every day from the country, 3,500. And around 5 lakh passengers are traveling every day by air. Even today, these are numbers that I have taken from today. So 5 lakh passengers are traveling safely every day. 3,500 flights are taking off every day from the country. So we have a very good process, but we are not stopping there. We want things to be brought down to zero in terms of incidents or anything. That is the process that we have. That is the integrity that we have, and that is the target that we have. So we are being more open now to the suggestions that are coming into our side, and we are looking at the international process also, and some of the countries where they feel, because ICAO, which is the International Civil Aviation Organization, always has a third eye on all the countries which are running operations, which are having these civil aviation networks, because civil aviation is not a thing where it is just within the country. It is not limited within the country. There are airlines from our country which are registered in India going into other countries and picking up and traveling passengers of other countries also. And likewise, other countries, airlines are coming into our country and they are picking up our passengers. So this is a global thing. And all the countries which are having these civil aviation departments or ministries or sectors, they all have to comply with the Civil Aviation Organization, International Civil Aviation Organization protocols. And we have been very committed to maintain those protocols. And we have a very effective score of 85 in the International Civil Aviation Organization safety score. And there are other countries, and you have to imagine the numbers that India has. We have more than 160 airports in the country. And I've given you the number of passengers that are traveling every day. In other countries, you might say that New Zealand or UAE or this thing, how many airports they have? 1, 2, 3. And we are operating at such a vast scale. And that is not like an excuse I'm putting, but that is the kind of growth that we have seen in the country, and the kind of growth we are trying to maintain by also having 100% safe and secure civil aviation net. I have to also tell that the DGCA has inspections which are planned surveillance, ramp inspections of both the domestic and the foreign sector, spot checks and night surveillance. And this is done through an annual surveillance and safety plan that the DGCA prepares. And based on the regular checking that happens, they have a overlooking safety audit also that is happening all over the country. And they keep monitoring each and every plane. They keep monitoring each and every airport and all the safety measures that are being listed. And everything is very thoroughly monitored. And whenever these kind of incidents happen, let us say there is an in-flight, some engine malfunction that has happened. And these, you have pointed out to one specific aircraft where there seems to be a one specific issue. But there are multiple kinds of issues that can happen. Some may be due to the weather, or some might be due to bird hits that happen. So there are multiple unpredictable and weather-related issues also that are there. Everything is properly taken into account. But for that, to ensure that the operations are still safe, even if it is mid-flight journey or on the ground, any incident that is happening, there is a thorough protocol. And it is not that we have invented the protocol or we have invented the safety process. There is a process that the original equipment manufacturer, suppose the Boeing is making the plane, Boeing itself has to list out what all safety measures that has to be done. And on top of that, the FAA, which is the state regulator of that country, it also goes through a process of seeing the design, the maintenance and manufacture. It comes out with the process. Then there is the International Civil Aviation Organization, which overlooks all this, and it comes out with the process. And once that plane is coming back to our country, our state regulator, which is the DGCA, it goes through all these processes, and if mandatory, adds some more processes from its side, so that every single flight before it takes off goes through a specific maintenance based on the line maintenance, base maintenance, engine maintenance. Everything is properly checked from the pilot also. Before taking off, pilot also on ground, he goes around the aircraft and checks all the things. Aircraft maintenance engineer also does another checking. After robust checking and properly jotting down what is happening with the aircraft, only then looking at the rules and procedures, if the aircraft is good for taking off at the time, only then it is supposed to be taken off. So all the processes are thoroughly listed, and we, on behalf of the ministry and from the regulator DGCA, we ensure that there is no negligence and there is no incompetence on any of the processes, and everything is very thoroughly monitored. And if anything occurs also, and if there is anything which occurs due to negligence, then we take serious action on both the operator and any necessary person, and we impose penalties, suspensions. All the process of enforcement is also duly listed. Through this house also offer my condolences to the families of both the passengers of who are traveling in the plane, the crew and the passengers, and also the students, the families of both the students also. And this has been our idea right from the time the incident took place, that we are not going to differentiate between the victims, saying that, Acha, these are the people who have traveled in the plane and these are the other ones who have got affected or succumbed to outside injuries outside the plane. And all the support that is being extended to the victims of the families inside the plane, the same assistance is being extended to all the families of the people, students who have died outside also, sir. And the compensation also equally, they have also been taken into account, and they are being provided the compensation and the necessary support for the future also. Much of this, the responsibility has been taken by Air India, and combinedly, all the people, both in flight and off, everyone is being taken care of, both from the family side, and all the compensation is being equal. And this, not only in terms of compensation definitely equal, but in terms of assistance also that we are trying to provide from the government side, there is no difference. We are keeping, both are being taken into account in the same process. Sir, I'll address the second part first, where it says that no aviation experts have been there. It is not true. There are two subject matter experts in terms of pilots who have been engaged within the investigation team. And likewise, other engineers and all from the industry also have been engaged. And the International Civil Aviation Organization observer also from the UN, where a lot of articles were there that he was rejected and all. So baseless articles have come up at the time, but everyone who was supposed to be in the investigation team, they have all been there. In fact, pilots have also been there. So that addresses the second part. And also regarding the report releasing, it was entirely up to the AAIB. It was up to the AAIB to finish the report and to release the report. And it's not that when they finished, then they uploaded it. It is according to their this thing. I don't think there was very specific reason of why it has been released in the night or in the morning. It was the report which was supposed to be released, and it was released at that time.